Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mita. Namo Buddhaya and Soki Hontu. I'm Aliana and welcome to TRV Friday Sutta discussion class by Bhante Dr. Chandima. Tonight class is the day 127 of Sutta discussion, the third class of Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta, with topic, why do people stay healthy while others face constant health challenges? Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta is the 12th sutta that has been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion class. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Mangala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Sabbasawa Sutta, Pattakamma Sutta, Pattama Samajivi Sutta, Alawaka Sutta, Dajaga Sutta, and Giri Mananda Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Aman Perdana Klang's Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore, please share around about this class to other friends and family members so that whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom, where we can engage directly with Bhante, can contact the Vihara through TRV Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. Or you can join the class from Ti-Ratana Vihara Facebook channel, where we broadcast the Sutta class live on every Friday evening from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Kuala Lumpur time. Now let me introduce about our speaker, Bhante Dr. Chandima, who is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University in Thailand. Bhante was previously a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from year 2012 to 2016. Recently, Bhante has joined Ateneo de Manila University in Philippines as the Assistant Professor of Buddhist Philosophy. Bhante is also the Senior Advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma work can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and as always, thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Always thankful for the introduction too. Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back, and I think I don't know whether there are newcomers, perhaps one or two. Maybe some others, they have been catching up with the class, maybe on the second day. So we will get started our Sutta discussion by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Today is Sutta discussion day 127. And we have with us Aliana, Sadiris, Kim, Kelvin, Margaret, Ang, TC Lim, Nai Cheng, Sumita, Cindy Eo, Kema, Hema, June, Jacqueline, Lim, No, Lily, You Only, Ho, and Wong In Leong. And maybe a few others might join as we proceed. And this discussion is always stream to Facebook at the same time. So I think hopefully some others might be joining too, and Gan as well this time. So our sutta, as Aliana said, our 12th sutta, right? Isn't it, Aliana? 12th. That means we've been covering 12 suttas since 2022. That means 3 years of time. And it's called Chula Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. Chula means small, Kamma means Kamma, right? Kamma means Kamma, and Vibhanga means analysis. So smaller analysis of uh, karma. I think I already informed you that uh, it's not the smaller level of karma that the Buddha talks about in this sutta. It's about the smaller analysis. The analysis is the small. It's not the karma itself. Karma is such a huge subject. So the karma has been, I would say, briefly discussed in this sutta. In the next sutta, karma has been synthetically, maybe greatly discussed, called Akammavibhan Sutta. So we introduced the sutta 2 weeks before, and then last week we discussed the first important aspect, that is why do some people die early and why do some people live longer. And today we are going to discuss why do some people stay healthy while others face constant health challenges. Always keep in mind there is a word called some, not everybody. So don't try to paint everything with the karma brush here. I mean, I'm not trying to say that. That's why the Buddha said some. Probably most people, but not everybody. There are exclusive reasons for some other people to experience certain things in their life. So that we cannot say for instance, somebody passed away all of a sudden, maybe last life, this guy killed somebody, that's why he or she passed away. We cannot say like that. We don't know. Because this sutta said some people, yeah. So there may be other reasons. We never know. That's why Buddha used the Pali word ekacho. What's the Pali word? Ekacho. Ekacho iti ekacho puriso. Let's see. Take a look. Just to dispel that doubt. You can see the Pali part. Ida manava ekacho. Ekacho ittiva puriso. He doesn't say ida manava ittiva puriso. Right? Ekacho. Ekacho means, you can see, some movement. Right? But perhaps this could be the main reason behind everybody, but we cannot precisely tell that somebody's premature death is due to the karma. It can be due to many other reasons, but karma is one of the most potential reasons. And today we are discussing the second aspect. Second aspect is health, good health and bad health. I think in our life, we have never wished anybody ill health, right? Have you ever wished good health of your enemies too? Do you have enemies? I don't think you're supposed to have enemies as a Buddhist. We're not supposed to have enemies, challenging people, difficult people, right? And don't try to create new enemies, right? If you don't have enemies, don't try to create them again, I remember a long time ago when I was doing a Dhamma talk in Edmonton, Canada. Long time ago, I think it's around like 2015, 14. And we were talking about game culture, with the group of teenagers. And we were talking about hatred, metta and all that. And we were going into certain games at that time. There was a fundamental game at that time. Many kids played Delta Force, where they want to, destroy certain, terrorists on the inside the game. And then we were discussing, are you guys killing people, right? I mean, no, we are killing, but once we finish the game, they are coming back. So that's what they said. But the problem is, it's not just a physical killing or maybe game killing. It's about the killing mind, right? killing mind, harassing mind, torturing mind. This is the problem that the Buddha talks about. It's not the physical activity itself. Actually, physical activity itself has been discussed by Pali commentators. It can be a problem. But in early Buddhism, basic Buddhist teachings, Sutta teachings, we understand it's not just a physical, activity itself. It is the mind. Because Buddhism is always talking about the mind. If you think wrong, if you have a bad, unwholesome thought, that is the issue with regard to that. Okay, today we can discuss two areas while we are looking at the Sutta text about this. One is good health, bad health. That is one subject. On the other hand, hurting other people, torturing, hurting other people. These are two aspects. But before that, let's take a look at the text and then we will discuss the rest. Okay, it should be here. Okay, Pali part. Okay, this part. Yeah, it's over here. Yeah, the wrong side. So who would like to read this part? Can read from this is the reason why some people are getting sick all the time. Some, huh? Yeah, who would like to read this part? Please raise your virtual hand. Yes, Kim.
Bhante, I try.
Yes, please.
Okay. Ida manava ekacho iti va pariso va satanang vihetaka jatiko hoti panina va ladona va.
Paninava.
Oh, my screen is hidden. Va something.
Paninava.
Panina va laduna va daya satena va. So tena kamina evang samatena evang samadinena kayasa beda parang marana apayang duga vini patang nirayang upajati no che kayasa beda parang marana apayang dukatin vini patitan nirayang upajati sace manusatang aga chati yata pacha yati bhavabado hoti bhava bada sangvatanika isa manava patipada yadidang satinang satanang vihetakajatiko hoti panina va leduna va dandena va satena va ida pana.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
that part is
Thank you.
All right. So we are going to understand now what you call the first part. The first part is about why someone can be someone can be going through certain health challenges. Let's see. Idamanava, here young man, Suba, Ekacho Ittiva Purisova, some men or women or men, Sattana Vihetaka Jatiku Hoti. With regard to the other beings, carrying a certain tendency. Now this Jatiko means tendency. Jatiko. What kind of tendency? Vihetaka Jatiko. Viheta means injuring men, tendency. There are some people who are carrying a certain tendency to injure. Tendency means jatiko. It has been a habit in that person's life. It's not a random injury. There are some people who want to injure people as much as they want. I mean, they are looking for opportunities to, just pinch them a little bit and then to say something wrong. It could be a different type of injury. So they have that nature. It's not a mistake. So it's like they have a tendency. So what kind of tendency? Tendency of injuring, torturing other people. How are they doing that? They are doing it in few ways. One is panina. Panina means, what is panina? Pani, if you have ever been to India, how did you use this? Have you ever come across this Pali word or Hindi word? Pani, pani. Give me some pani. Water, water. I know that word. If you go to India, say pani, pani. Pani means water. But this pani is not that pani. Pani means hand. So that means there are people who torture other people with their hand. Have you ever experienced those situations? Maybe not your teachers in your high school. Huh? They use their hands, and these teachers in today's world cannot even think about lifting their hands, what do you call human rights, human rights. You can't lift your hand like that, right? So at that time, people might have used that way. So panina, that means one of the very generic ways of hurting, hitting, hurting other people is the hand. So if there is someone who has hurt, who has then injured anybody with one's own hand. Now this will go down to oneself too, right? There are some people who, what do you call, hit by himself, herself. Wow, what a stupid person am I, yeah? Bad person am I? This is going down to oneself then. You are trying to make yourself so bad about it. You don't have to injure yourself, like those people who want to take their life. So, panina means hands. That means torturing can happen in the first place with the hand. Panina then, what is the next way of torturing others? Ledduna. Ledduna means? Ledduna? It can be a what do you call, something that is made from clay or maybe a stone at that time, throwing stones. Remember that when the Buddha was walking one day, some boys and girls, they were playing around and then they were throwing stones at a snake. And then the Buddha asked, why are you throwing stones at this snake? Oh, snake is dangerous. But snake is not here. He's going somewhere else. So what if that somebody is going to throw the same stones at you? Would you like to have that pain? They said, no, we don't like that pain. Then please stop doing that. Let him go. Right? So I think that is something very interesting we are talking later on this discussion. Putting oneself on in other person's shoes. This is the way how the Buddha asks us to think about the pain, right? Understanding the what you call the visceral pain of someone's torturing. I mean, one has to, don't think that pain is, it's a very subjective thing. It's a universal thing. Pain is not just subjective. It's a universal thing. How am I going to universalize that pain? By understanding, putting myself in other person's shoes. So this is what we understand at the end to avoid hurting other people. So anyways, now the second one is let people hurt other people with hands. Leduna means cloth or maybe a stone, maybe what you call something that is made from clay. That means you can also think about a pot, clay pot, right? Or a stone, anything such as things made from stone and clay. Dandena. Dandena means
Stick, with a stick.
with a stick. Stick, it can be mostly made from wood. Right? Remember, there was a man called Dandapani. We find him in the Suttas. Dandapani, very famous person who talked to the Buddha sometime. Dandapani means the one who is carrying a walking stick all the time. Pani means hands. Dandapani, the man who is carrying a stick all the time with his hand, right? In today's world, when you're getting older, you will become a Dandapani, right? I mean, walking stick, huh? You go, wow, that's a Dandapani. But we don't actually, put people down that. But we understand that Dandapani means someone who's carrying a stick. But Danda, there are people who are hitting others with a stick, mostly. Mostly it's not a weapon, but it's a stick. And then last one is Sattena. Sattena means, what does Sattena mean? Now there's a difference here. Sattha, not Sattha, right? Not Sattha. But this is called Sattha, H. So then this Sattha is
Knife. A knife.
sentient being, right? This is called sentient being. Actually, why this is Sattva? Someone who is stuck to the sensual pleasures. Or Sattva, we all are Sattvas. We are incessantly stuck to the sensual pleasures. But this Sattva means weapon. That means anything that is made out of certain materials, certain elements, such as knife, sword, anything in today's world. It could be a gun, it could be a ammunition-based thing. So here, we understand Sattva means a knife, according to that time, whatever the way they made. So, going back, there is a man, a woman, or a man who has a tendency of torturing others with hands or with a stone or with a stick or with a knife. Now, you have to imagine that this person has been doing this activity for many years, maybe for some years, right? So, you are looking at the nature of somebody's activity, right? As such. Then, as a result of that karma, we call it samattena. Samattena means adopting that view of, adopting the activity of hurting other people with all these, tools. Samattena, adopting of those things. Samadhinena. Samadhinena here means carrying out. Like observing, carrying out. Now, I think we discussed Samadhinena last month, Friday, right? You know that when you take the 5 precepts, you are saying the same word, right? Panatipata, Vedamani, Sikkhapada, Samadhiya. That Samadhiya is the same one. That here it is taken from a different perspective. It could be a past participle. So that means the person now has carried out or maybe has adopted a view, and then it has become a real activity, and he or she has become into that particular activity for some time with the hand or cloth or a stone, stick or a knife. It's happening now for some time. And then what is happening in this world after he spent some time? Kaya Sabeda, after the death, Parammarana, or at the dissolution of the body, after the breakup of the body, Parammarana, beyond the death, Apayang Dukatin Vinipatan Niryang Babajati. I think we discussed all that, so I'm going to make it short. He or she is going to be reborn in one of the hells. And then, Noche, if not, Kaya Sabeda, if not, Kaya Sabeda Parammarana Apayang Dukatin Vinipatan Niryang Babajati. In case the person is not going to be reborn in one of the hells, Sache, if the person, Manusattang Agachati, come back as a human, once again for another good karma, another very great karma, yatta yatta pachajayati. Every time he or she is going to be reborn as a human, Bauha Badu. Bauha Badu means Bahu, Bahu Abad. Bahu Abad. Okay. Now Bahu means Bahu Abadu Hut. Bahu Abadu. Bahu means many. Abadu means discomfort. In Buddhism, Buddhism identifies Abad and what do you call, what's the other one? Roga, pain, differently. Abada and Roga are two things. Not every Abada can be a painful experience, is it? Now think about in the Girimananda Sutta, we discussed that. In the Girimananda Sutta, Buddha says that there are certain abadas, discomforts, and there are certain rogas, chakku rogo, sota rogo, gana rogo, so and so forth. Eye is a disease, eye is a painful thing. Whatever happens in someone's ear could be a painful experience. Actually, it's a painful experience. But what is happening with regard to the, what do you call, pitta samuttana abada? Sometimes there may be somebody who might be going through a certain bile-related problem, maybe a wind-related problem, maybe a certain experience where the person has wrongly done the workout, what do you call, maybe visama pariharaja or visama pariharaja or opakkamika abada. So that means it might not be a very much painful experience, rather it is a discomfort and you don't like it, right? So finally Buddha is saying that even the hunger is also is hunger a pain or a discomfort initially? How do you tell other people, I'm so hungry and I'm so angry? Angry. I mean, how are you going to tell this to other people? Do you have a discomfort? I really want to go somewhere and eat something now, and don't talk to me. People get annoyed because of that. Is it more towards a pain? Is it more towards a discomfort? You are not comfortable after that.
Discomfort.
It's more towards
Discomfort.
it's a discomfort. It's not. It might be a pain if you don't eat for long at that point, but it is initially not a pain. It is a discomfort. So Buddhism identifies abada and roga differently. But sometimes abada roga are existing in the same problem. Now, say for instance, someone is going through diabetes. Now, with this diabetes, it's a discomfort. Wake up at night and you will sleep during the day, and you have to go to checkups. You have to check your sugar in the blood over time. You can't eat that food and this food. It's more than the pain. It's not the pain initially. It's a discomfort. I can't eat whatever I want. I can't sleep, right? And what about a tooth problem? Take a tooth problem. Something with the tooth. Is it more towards a discomfort or a pain?
Pain.
It's a pain, right? I mean, you can't sleep and then you are looking for a dentist. Dentists are already booked. You can't go there. And you have had a bad experience with another dentist. I don't want to go there, right? So it's more towards the pain. Right? So that's why the Buddha is saying here why some people are going through a lot of discomforts in their life. They are not initially painful experiences. Why some are going through less experiences as such. So Bahu means many, Abada means a discomfort. Going back. Why? Now we understand. Bahu Abada, Bauha Abada Samvattanika. Samvattanika, this is the path to become having the discomfort. That means if you want to get the path or be on the path to become discomfort, into the discomfort, you can practice hitting other people with hands, cloth, so maybe stones, stick, knife, and all that. So it's easy to think about that. Not even this actually. You don't have to sometimes do as such. Remember, there was a book that was published in 70s, 80s. It's not a very recent research, some times ago. There were two books that we learn about certain interesting aspects of Buddhism in 70s, 80s written books. One book was Many Mansions, written by Jinnah Seminar. Hopefully you might have read this book. Jinnah Seminara's Many Mansions. It's an old book, but very interesting. Things that she's talking. And she's pointing out certain case studies done by one person who knows hypnotism, how to hypnotize people. His name was Edgar Cayce. Now, Edgar Cayce, probably this person must have been living around 50s, 60s, maybe. He had a habit of hypnotizing certain people who approach him for certain chronic health problems. So one day, he hypnotized a lady who is always saying, I have a very bad chronic back pain problem. I think I already shared this with you sometime. And then he hypnotized this lady. And then by hypnotizing the lady, she went back to 14th century or 13th to 14th century in Austria. And then she said, I was born in Austria at that time, in 13th to 14th century time. At that time, there was a certain sport activity that we all were invited to go. What was the sport activity? It was that the king asked onlookers, citizens of the country, to come to a certain royal stage where probably the perpetrators, maybe criminals or whoever, they are going to come to the stage, and then after they come, then they are chasing out certain lions into the stage. And what happened? The lions were eating those people alive. And they were tearing off the back and then the muscles, everything, and they were eating. I was one of the persons in the audience. I was happily watching this activity. I was not the one who even was a part of that decision making. I was happy for that activity. She just said that. Then Edgar Cayce concluded his idea, because you were happy for someone else akusala kamma. Sometimes you are not doing akusala kamma, but you are happy for other people akusala kamma. There are people as such. Huh? Yeah. I think it's good that you heard that person, such a bad person, also told me something bad. So you are trying to get things done in different ways, right? Akusala kamma. And then what happened? That is why that particular lady got this chronic back pain for many lives. Even this life in 1970s time. And doctors sometimes cannot say anything. We can only give you painkiller. There is no medication for you. Why? That means you were born with this kind of body. Why you were born with this kind of body? Because of bad karma. Because that's why you lost that important part of the backbone. The back. So let's talk about what to do. I mean, we never know what we have done in the past. Maybe we are trying to look at our past life through the happiness, unhappiness that we are having now. So anyways, so if there is somebody who has been torturing others with hands, or maybe clay, earth, or maybe stone, or maybe a stick or a weapon, knife, then that person is going to go through a lot of discomfort, which also may include certain painful diseases, painful, what do you call, sicknesses as well. Okay, now we find out a certain reason why certain people go through. Now, don't think that if you have a chronic health problem that you are going through, seeing the doctor on a regular basis, I might have been one of those people, right? Don't think that way. We don't know. But this is just an idea that Buddha is saying to some people. So we need to understand that. Okay, now let's look at the good part, why some people are going through lots of good health. I would like someone to read that part too. Okay, here. Yeah. This part. Who would like to read this part? Anyone? Either Anna? Yes, Aliana, please.
Ida pana manawa ekacho iti wa puriso wa satanang awi aviheta kajatiko
Avihetaka jatiko.
hoti panina wa leduna wa dandena wa satena wa sotena kamena ewang samatena ewang samadinena kayasa beda param marana sugatim sagam lokam upapajati. Noche upapajati. Noche kayasa beda param marana sugatim sagam lokam upapajati sace manusatang agachati yata pachajayati apabado hoti. Apabada samwatanika esa manawa patipada yadidam. Satanang aviheta kajatiko hoti paninawa ledunawa dandenawa santenawa.
Okay, great. Ida pana manava ekacho ittiva purisova sattanan avihetaka jatiko. Hoti paninava ledunava dandenava sattenava. Va means oh. Right? This preposition happening everywhere. Va. Yeah. So tena kammena evam samattena. Samattena means adoption. Adopting of that particular activity, bad activity or good activity. Samadhinena. Samadhinena here means carrying out, execution of that particular activity thereof. Kayasa bheda parang marana sugating saggan lokam upapajjati. No che. Kayasa bheda parang marana sugating saggang lokang upapajjati. Sache manusattang agacchati yatta pachajayati. Appabadu. Appa bada samvattanika esamanava patipadayatidam. Sattanang avihetaka jata. Hoti paninava lidunava dandenava sattenava. The same phrasing happening, but there are changes. Okay. Now, what you call vihetaka jatiko was changed, and there is a is added at the beginning. That means what you call V is preceded by a avihetaka. Now, what we said by vihetaka? Vihetaka means injuring, torturing, injuring. Jatiko means tendency, habit, mentality. Jatiko means mentality or tendency, or it has become a habit in that person's life. Now, avihetaka jatiko, there are some itti women or men with regard to the sentient beings. They have been forming a certain tendency, habit of not injuring, avihate, not vihetaka, avihetaka jati. So they are not going to hurt, torture other people, sentient beings, not even other people, sentient beings. Satta means sentient beings, because Buddha did not use manusa here. He said sattana. Sattana means sentient being. Hoti. How are they avoiding this activity? They are not using their hands. They are not using any clay or earth or anything made of any activity, natural things, and dandenava, stick or knife. Due to that karma, and it's that karma's adoption, and at the same time carrying out of that karma after the death, going to be reborn in a heaven. If not reborn in a heaven, the person will reappear in the human space, and then yatta jayati appabado. Appabado. The Buddha never says no sickness or no discomfort. Appabado. Appabado means relatively less discomfortful, right? relatively, because actually we are looking at everything on a relative basis. I mean, looking at somebody relatively, I'm better than other people. I'm having good health. I have a better health than others. You can see. Appabad. Because if the Buddha is saying there is someone who is always healthy, that is going to be a lie. Right? Even the Arahants also get sick. Even the Buddha also gets sick. And anybody can get sick. But the problem here is that not that we are going to get sick. We can get sick. We are purposely making us sick. That is not a good thing, right? That's why the Buddha said, don't try to get sick on purpose. Because if you get sick without taking care of you, that is a different thing. But if you get sick, I mean, even you are trying out to be a good person, I mean, healthy person, that is a different thing to understand. But there are a lot to do with regard to the good health. So here the Buddha says that you will have less discomfort, that means health issues, as a result of not injuring other people with hands. Panina, Leduna means stone, Dandena means stick, Sattena means knife or any other weapon. And Appabada Sangvattanika Esa. This is the path. Now we normally know path as a noble eightfold path. But here there are different other paths to become successful in one's life, to take charge of our wealth. This is the path to become a healthy person. That means if you really want to be healthy, never raise your hand to anybody. Right? This is the idea. If you want to be healthy, never raise your hand, never throw anything to somebody. Never use any stick to, torture anyone. Never use any that kind of a weapon to go against anybody. So this is what we call as someone who is going to create good health. Okay. Now we are going to look at two aspects. Is everything with regard to our health happening from karma? No. There are many other reasons that are forcing us to be healthy and unhealthy. And now say, for instance, then where is the place for the free will in Buddhism? Does Buddhism overturn the free will part in somebody's life? No, Buddhism never overturned the free will part of anybody. Free will exists. Then who can use the free will? It is the person who is ambitious and purposeful and understand that I can execute my free will. I can practice certain healthy habits, and then I can at least try to manage my good health. Not that waiting until sansaric bad karma happen in life and then to get sick. There are a lot of people who are trying to, check their fortune with regard to the health. Last year I was unhealthy, but this year I think I should be okay. How come? No, I'm trying to check my fortune. They are trying to check their fortune. I mean, how come you are going to check your fortune and going to be healthy or unhealthy? That is not a Buddhist idea, right? So here I want to tell you that not every health issue happens due to the karma, but most of the health issues may happen due to the karma. Okay? So karma is not the only reason. I think we discussed that under the Adinava Sanya as well, perception of drawbacks in the Girimanda Sutta. But there are certain things. Let's say you are born with a certain sickness. Are there people like that? They are born with a certain health issue. What kind of issues are they? Let me ask you.
Genetics.
Huh?
Genetics.
Genetic issues. What are they?
Autistic, Bhante? Autistic?
Autism. Is autism a genetic problem?
Not genetic, but
Not genetic, right? Yeah, there are many reasons that are going around. Someone, become autistic. Yeah. Yes.
Thalassemia.
And what else? Thalassemia.
Thalassemia.
And then
Mental illness.
mental illnesses. Talk about the very famous one, cardiovascular problems. I mean, when you diagnosed with a cardio problem, I mean, let's say you're somebody diagnosed with that, doctors want to match your genes. They are saying that, no, your father is not diagnosed, but maybe somebody else, the pattern goes to you next time. So you got to be careful, you know. They are matching that. They are matching the genes, right? Sometimes nobody has that health issue. Then they are thinking maybe second, third, fourth generations before your mother, father, somebody might have had it. So genes have a nice way of formulating what you call happening, right? And even sometimes other health problems, main problem, genetic problem. What about anger? Can our parents pass down anger to us?
Yes.
I'm asking a very simple question. I mean, can our parents, let's say our parents were living in a war-torn country. What they saw was war, and they were going through civil wars in that country. But then they immigrated, maybe they went to a country by taking what you call as refugees. And now they are living a comfortable life with their children getting grown up. Children never know what the war was at that time. But then parents are trying to tell them, you know, we were in a war country and this person, did that person had this, and we barely managed to come here, right? It might be good, but it might also be not good sometimes, because then those parents might be teaching their children about anger. You gotta fight back and all that, right? So it's something like that. So that means not even the genetic things, but also uh, emotions, mental problems are also passing down to us. They are also passing down to one very good example is First Nations, Native Indians in North America. Now, this is a very research-based idea. When the people from Mongolia, they went to Russia, and then they crossed the Bering Sea, Pacific Ocean, and they went to the modern Canada and then the US, and then they settled down. And what happened during the British colonial time, when the British came, they wanted to get rid of them, right? And sometimes the ways that they did things were not very nice. And what happened? The First Nations, sometimes they have this genetic frustration, anger. So they are saying to their, generations that these people did that and did this to us. So that means it can happen. So that means it is not even the mother, father's good things coming to us. It is also mother, father's darker side also can come to us. That's why when you die, you have to think about, may I be reborn in if I'm not done, not going to enlighten this life, to be reborn in a very wholesome parents' family. Because once I reborn, I have to pay for their cost also. I mean, that's a big problem. Why do I have to pay a cost for them? Why I'm going to reborn to a bad family? So then I also have to go through that problem. Their health problems, right? Think about two people. One person is going to be reborn into a very healthy family, healthy, happy family, right? Another person is going to be reborn into a very miserable, complaining, unhealthy family. So then there must be a reason behind these two births, right? That's why the Buddha said that it's important to take care of our activities with regard to this particular part, health issues. Okay, so I just now shared with you that karma is not the only thing, but maybe the most dominant reason for many people, health problems. Most dominant reason. And what are how important is health actually? Let's talk about that from Buddhism. How important is that? How did the Buddha talk about health? Now, if we take health as a predetermined activity, then we don't have to do anything, right? We just face it. We will just face it. But the Buddha never said like that. Buddha never said that you will become sick, just face it. No, the Buddha said there are things to do to overcome any unwarranted, unnecessary sicknesses. So then, in one place, Buddha gives a very clear idea that he said in Dhammapada somewhere, Arogya Parama Labha, which means the greatest profit, the greatest gift in our life is the good health. But how challenging is it for someone to obtain this health? Now, I think whenever a monk comes to your house, whenever you go to a temple, they are always saying that, may you be well and happy, right? How many times they have told you that? Huh? To be honest, they are telling that all the time. They have to tell that. Huh? And you expect that them to talk to you like that. Good health is number one. But sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay, right? Maybe it's not the problem with the blessings. It might be your problem also. So it goes in two ways, right? And the other thing is that when a monastic member is to bless someone, the monastic member has to do with lots of kindness, lots of compassion to pass it to the person who is receiving that. So health is not a fortune activity. There are a lot of things that may happen to us with regard to our past karma about our health, but there are a lot of other things we can change with regard to our this life's health. Let's talk about what we can do, not what we cannot do, right? What we cannot do is what we cannot do. What we can do means there is something we can do. How did the Buddha ask us to take care of our health? What have you heard about Buddha's teachings about how to be healthy? Now, karma is one thing we understand, not injuring anybody with regard to what you call torturing with hands, stones, stick, or any weapon. Yeah, let's say you are doing that. You are really avoiding such wrong things. But still, is that the only thing you are supposed to do? No. What are the other things that the Buddha asks us to do in terms of taking care of our health, or maybe to become a healthy person?
Yeah, eat in moderation.
Eat in moderation. Yes. How important is this? How applicable is this to us in today's world? Now, the problem is Buddhism does not worry about what food are you going to eat. Buddhism cannot give an idea about it. Then Buddhism has to have another sutta that if you are in North America, you can eat what you call this and that food. If you are in somewhere else, in a very tropical country, you must eat this food. It's going to be a really challenging idea, and sometimes can be a very funny idea too. The Buddhism is more concerned about how much is moderation. That means moderation of food is very important. How much is the good amount of food that we are supposed to eat as a Buddhist? Because Buddha has told that in a sutta. Buddha asks us, never, ever.
70%.
70%. The Buddha asks us not to fill our tummy with the food. Right? Yeah, not to fill. No, I mean, what kind of percentage you are eating, it depends, right? Let's say you are a person who cannot eat that much, no appetite, maybe you have appetite problems, then you can't go by 2/3 or 1/3. Now, the idea here is that, that's it, whatever the food you are eating from any cultural, any country specific background, never ever fill your tummy with the food. Instead, leave 4 to 5 morsels of food. At that time, they used to use hand. Leave 4 to 5 morsels of food. I'm asking, as Buddhists, are you doing this when you are eating? You think about whether you are doing or not. This is the Buddha's advice. Because normally when people practice Buddhism, they are only thinking about how to be enlightened. You cannot enlighten if you don't practice moderation in food. It matters. Why it matters? When you go to meditate, you doze off. You sleep very fast. It's a problem of the food intake, how much food you took. So then, leaving 4 to 5 morsels of, morsel means kind of a mouthful. So now when I say mouthful, it is also changing from one to one. Let's say when we all going to eat with hand, the amount of food you are using, taking from your mouth could be different, right? I mean, from 1 to 1. So leaving 4 to 5 morsels of food, and then drink water for the rest of the space. The Buddha says, Chattaru Pancha Alupe Abhutva. Now the problem is then, how many morsels should you have on your plate? That is another question. I mean, maybe at that time people were trying to make it like morsels, what you call a certain conglomerated morsels, and then you are eating all that, leaving 4 to 5 morsels. But anyways, you are leaving a certain tiny portion. You are leaving a certain tiny portion of food. Because what are you going to do for that? How do you know? Let's say now there is a potluck, right? You are going to the potluck. It might be a buffet. Now, how are you going to decide that? That means you're going to fill your whole plate, and then you are leaving some amount of food. Are you wasting food? Somebody might ask. Then there's another problem come. Then you should know before you take the food, this is my much, this is my level. And this is my, what you call this 4 to 5 morsel idea. I'm actually taking food into that particular, I want to fit onto that particular idea. So ever since you are trying to take food from the buffet dishes, you understand that this is my amount of food. And you are going to drink certain amount of water, not by filling the tummy with food. Okay, that is the idea. Why is it? Why did the Buddha ask this idea? Why? Whom did he say this to? He was talking this thing to King Kosala because King Kosala was said to eat a lot, a very big pot of food, right? So then the Buddha said, why do I say this thing to you and others? It is because when you eat this way, that means when you eat by leaving 4 to 5 morsels of food, leaving some room for the water, then what's the Pali word for that? The Pali word is that sanikang ayung palayant. You will age slowly. You will, in Christian perspective, you will age graciously. Who would like to age fast? Tell me. Would you like to age fast? Even let's say you are in 60s, would like to go to 80s in 1 more year by messing up your food intake? I think you would not like that idea, right? Everybody would like to age slowly. That means the Buddha says if you eat like that, you are slowing your age. You are slowing your aging. Perhaps you might age reverse. Huh? Who knows? Because you are properly managing your food intake. You want to age reverse? Forward, right? Even when you age forward, what you understand is that you are aging slowly because the way how you take the food and that particular management is very. So this is why the Buddha said, Bojane mattanyuta. That is what we call moderation. Let me put the Pali word here. Bojane means food, mattanyuta, moderation. What does matta means? The limit. Nyuta means knowing the limit. Bojane, food. So it's very important to know the limit if you could. That is a part of Dhamma practice. And why, when you go to the temple, why are some monks reading a certain food reflection in the retreat? What are they saying? What are they saying? If you have been to a meditation retreat, normally during your lunchtime, the monk or whoever is reciting a certain, maybe reading a certain food reflection. What is it? They say, Patisankhayo niso pindapatam patisema. Today I eat wisely. That means I've been eating unwisely for the rest of the time until I go to the temple, right? Eating whatever the food. And then, Neva davaya namadaya namandana, not to beautify my body, not to decorate my body, not to, fill the certain gaps in my body, right? But it has to be like probably corrected. I mean, somebody's taking a supplement, I mean, just to supplement the what you call nutrients in the body, because that person cannot eat a lot of food. And then Neva Davai, Namadai, Namandana, Navibhusana, Yavadeva Imasakara Sthiti. It is only to survive in this life, because dying early is a problem for me, because I want to use some time to practice Dhamma. Nowadays, people learn a lot of Dhamma, but less time that they are spending for the practice. Don't say you don't have the time. You have the time, but you are bogged down with other things. That's the problem. I think, I mean, if you look at the time you are spending to learn Dhamma, if you look at the time you spend to practice the Dhamma, probably it could go haywire. I mean, it would be very different. That's why take more time to practice. Otherwise, you will die as a head Dhamma person. You have a lot of Dhamma in the head. Nothing has gone to the heart and to the life, right? It's like a student who has a degree but never know how to work in a company, right? Die with a degree, but the ultimate use is for being able to use it for a work, right? So anyways, what do you call? Neva davai, namadai, namandana, yavadeva imasakaya sthiti. It is only solely to keep this body. Yavadeva imasakaya sthitiya. Yapanaya vihingsu paratiya. And then, iti puranancha vedanam patihantami. I want to destroy my all pain. What is the all pain? Iti puranancha vedanam patihanka. Patihanka, I want to destroy my all pain.
Hunger.
All pain means I was painful before I eat, right? That means I have a certain pain because I was painful because just, right, to eat. And then, navancha vedana nupadisami. They are, at the same time, I want to destroy the future pain. That means after I eat, I'm going to destroy my future pain. That means we have to eat properly, eat proper food, right?
Otherwise,
If you don't eat proper food, you will again hungry in a moment of time. That's what happens to many people in today's world, right? They eat something junk and then they want to eat again, eat again, eat again, eat again. They are eating 5, 6, 7 times between one meal to the other, and they get sick. That means eating a proper meal, which has what are the doctors saying? Balanced meal, right? Is that what they are talking? Balanced diet. They are saying that. Don't eat just the meat only. Don't eat just the vegetables only. A balanced diet, right? But how to go to the balanced diet when you look at the cravings with regard to the junk food? This is the problem. When you go out, this junk food, so nice, so good fragrance, cheap, right? And then you want to try. And then when you try a couple of years, then you will try the real thing after that. I mean, you're going to try the real thing after a couple of years. Then you will have to pay a big cost for many, many years after that. Probably your whole life will be topsy-turvy after that. Nobody can save you. You have to be on a lifelong medication list after that, right? That's why we can make very conscious decisions to take care of us. Don't leave it to the Buddha. Don't leave it to the karma. Don't leave it to the temple you are going. Leave it to you. You will do it. That's why we are saying, yes, getting sick is a normal phenomenon, but don't get sick by purpose. You don't have to. You can do a lot of things. Let's say you are already having certain health problems. At least try to minimize future health problems. At least, at the very least. Right? So in this way, the Buddha said, not even that karma, depending on the karma, we are getting disturbed sometime, but also especially due to our ignorance about free will. We have free will. Buddha never said you have to overturn that. Free will is something we have to use it. We have a free will. Then if we don't have a free will, then what is this life? What is this life for? This life is with us because we can make conscious decisions, take charge with your, conscious decision making. So now you understand food culture. You have to be very careful about that. But on the other hand, there is another problem. I remember there was a priest who was talking as eating good food in certain places, and then somebody asked a question from the audience. Eating healthy food is not affordable, right? So don't preach things like that. If it is unaffordable, so why are you preaching in the place to eat healthy food? Then this is a problem. Then we have to talk about how to get access to healthy food. Because healthy food cheap in the market? Are they cheap? They're very expensive, right? Starting from a supplement and then going into a certain superfood called superfood, they're expensive. But you can think about certain ways to make this healthy food. Maybe in your house garden, maybe in another place, you are going to make it happen. That means if doing good karma is very challenging, then eating good food is also a challenging practice, right? If eating bad food is such an easy thing, going to a junk shop and eat all that, and doing bad karma also very easy, right? So health has to be maintained with our conscious choices, at the same time being careful of not hurting anybody. Okay, that is one part. Second part, injuring, torturing, bullying someone is not only a physical activity. It is also a verbal activity. It is also a mental activity as well. Let's talk about different aspects of torturing, bullying, hurting. Now, Chulakamavibhanga Sutta talks about physical hurt, right? So, what about verbal hurt? What is the verbal hurt that we have learned in Buddhism, especially in the Noble Eightfold Path? How did the Buddha talk about it? Can someone hurt us through words? Yes. We call it as
Harsh
Micha
speech.
vacha, right? Micha vacha. Micha vacha means wrong speech. It's the tool that they are using. What is the wrong speech? Lying to us. So you never know that you are being lied. But later on you find out, oh, backstab. He or she backstabbed me. I understand how much I trusted this person. You backstab me, and you were talking behind the back. You slammed it. Why did you do that? That's me. I have a tendency to do that, and you are such a bad person. You're going to justify again. So, understanding that people can hurt us verbally. First of all, it's about lying. Lying here means probably by technically lying, non-technically lying, or maybe in the second place, backstabbing, talking behind the back. So there are two main ways we understand people can hurt us, torture us. Sometimes, verbal hurt is more than the physical hurt, right?
Yes.
How do you understand that? Can you give me an example? Where have you understood in your life, maybe you when looking at somebody's life, how has verbal hurt overshadowed, maybe, become more serious than the physical hurt? Physical hurt also definitely a problematic thing, but how have you understood that in an experience?
I think about accusations.
Accusations.
Mm.
Accusation.
Also, Bhante, like belittling
Belittling.
the person
Belittling.
down,
Yeah. Putting others down
putting others down,
and making us cheap,
Mm.
cheapening others, demeaning others. And what else? Verbal hurt. How do other people hurt us verbally overall?
Humiliate.
Humiliating others,
Yeah,
insulting others,
insult.
insult. What about sarcastic speech? Has anybody become sarcastic about anything? Doesn't
Yeah.
talk directly and then, behind the scene. There are many ways people are, gaslighting.
Mm.
There are many ways that someone can put us down. As Buddhists, we are not supposed to become angry for that. We have our own mechanism. We will talk about that later. Now, lying is one form of verbal injury. and then the backstabbing. And then third, the most important one is unpleasant speech. That means putting us down, throwing tantrums, using swear words, and then there are many other ways. And finally, what about gossiping, idle chatting? Is that a form of hurting us?
Yes.
How does someone hurt you through the idle chatting? What about you get together with somebody after some time and then that person is using up your whole evening for nothing? Using up the whole evening and then talking all the nonsense, non-virtuous things, right? And then it can be a injury to your sila in a way. I mean, it can be injury to your spiritual life. I mean, sometimes it doesn't mean that you cannot spoil your time with somebody, but it means that someone is trying to injure our precious virtuous time, right? So anyways, verbal abuse. Now, on the other hand, what about the mental torturing, mental bullying? How do we call it?
Yeah, like Bhante.
Yes.
Like excluding the person from the company, your company. Like, not talking, referring to
Yeah,
the person.
excommunicating, or we call it isolating somebody.
Not inclusive, not inclusive.
What if someone does it and then tell when you ask, why are you doing that? Because I have put you on Brahmadanda, You ask him, what is Just joking. I mean, you ask him, why are you not talking to me? Now you just like, you saw me, but you just went by, why is it?
Yeah.
Because I put you on Brahmadanda, Then you are searching what is Brahmadanda. This is the capital punishment in Buddhism which the Buddha gave to monk Channa, right?
Yeah.
Monk Channa,
Yeah.
Channa was very, disruptive. Monk Channa was telling the Buddha, I am the one who supported you, helped you, but you did not give me any position. You did not give me the second, third disciple position like Arahant Sariputta Moggalla. Why are you so like this? You should have helped me. Then the Buddha said, these positions are given by merit, not just I know you for a long time. If I have given you such, the whole Buddha Sasana would have destroyed. You are not the meritorious person. Give anything to the right person. Even if you know the person, give it to the right person that you know, not the unwise person that you know, right? Otherwise, it will be like the close-eyed, the female monkey. What the female monkey did to a king in the Sanskrit verses. Remember, there was a female monkey who really wanted to take care of a king at that time, ancient time. So the king let the female monkey to stay in the royal chamber. So one day, the female monkey saw that there was a fly touching the king's body. The king was sleeping at that time. So she was thinking then, how come you are a fly? You are sitting on my king's body. I gotta kill you. So she took the royal sword and then blew it, struck in, and then the king passed away. That is why we have to always get in touch with the wise people. There may be sometimes wise enemies. They are not happy with us, but always try to be with wise people. Sometimes our friends are very unwise. They are with us all the time, but very unwise. Everything that they are thinking, they are unwise. Right? So that's why it is said that unwise enemy is better than the wise enemy is better than the unwise friend. Right? That's a good idea, right? So here we understand that in terms of mental part, there are a lot of people who might be engaging in certain activities to put other people down. Now, in that activity, we need to understand something very carefully. We know that there are people who are bullying other people emotionally, right? This can happen. So bullying emotionally is a kind of injury. What could be the result of bullying someone mentally in the long run? Then you will have to go through the same feeling, but it will happen to you one day. Right? And then you will go through it from a very loud one. Because when a loud one is doing that, you can't go away, right? The loud ones will bully you. So bullying. And then what else? Torturing others with the complaints, emotions. Pretty much it's about torturing with regard to the mind, emotions, and feelings, right? So it is also a kind of torturing that we need to understand. So here what we need to understand is that the Buddha is asking us to avoid all forms of injuring others physically, verbally, mentally. Then you are creating a safe haven, not heaven even, a safe haven and heaven for this life and the next life. Finally, before we get to the questions, I want to tell you say for instance, you are such a good person, you know Dhamma, but sometimes are you sure that you are always under the Dhamma, influence of Dhamma, or sometimes you cannot make sure that you are going beyond the Dhamma? Not that you are transcending, but you are going out of the Dhamma path. If so, then you can do something. Attupanayika Dhamma Pariyaya. This is the Pali word for that. Let me write that for you. Attupanayika Dhamma Pariyaya. This is coming under Veludwara Sutta. Veludwara Sutta means that is a part of Anguttara Nikaya. Sorry, it's Samyutta Nikaya, SN 55-7. In this sutta, Buddha says that how not to hurt other people in the first place and as a consistent practice. Now we all like not to hurt other people, but why sometimes our thoughts can go to that evil level? It is because we are not putting us into other person's shoes. We have to always think about what if the other person does the same thing to me, right? So that comparison must be done. So Buddha is always saying, if you are going to kill someone, if you are going to hurt someone, always think this will happen to you one day. So then that will be an immediate avoidance of the bad activity. So the best way to avoid these hurtful thoughts, hurtful words, hurtful physical activities, always try to compare in the proper way. Actually, people compare to the wrong thing, right? Why you are happy, why I'm not happy, right? I also should be happy like you. Right? Yes, we deserve happiness, but happiness doesn't come to you as such, right? Why don't we compare the yardstick, the criterion of the karma in that way? That is a good comparison. That means I want to size up with my good karma. Say, for instance, if I don't like it, why do I do it for other people? If the other person doesn't like it, why do I have to do it for the other person? So that mentality must be maintained. That is how you are going to definitely get away from any hurtful activities to other people. So then you are having health for this life through the conscious practices of health, and then not doing anything hurtful, and for the future life. All right, any questions?
Sorry, Bhante, if I can ask.
Yes.
The SN 55.7 is the bamboo gate, right? Not Attupanayika.
Yeah. The name is bamboo, but in the sutta you can see how did the Buddha talk about Attupanayika Dharma Pariyaya. Don't go by the name of the sutta. So inside the sutta is where we talk about Attupanayika Dharma Pariyaya. Say for instance, let me read something. If someone were to distort my meaning by lying, I wouldn't like it. But if I were to distort someone else's meaning by lying, they would not like it either. The thing that is disliked by me is also disliked by someone else. Since I dislike this thing, how can I inflict it on others?
Hmm.
Reflecting in this way, they give up lying. And they encourage others to give up lying, praising and giving up of lying. So their verbal behavior is purified in 3 points. That means this Attupanayaka Dharma Pariyaya has been discussed by the Buddha in the Veludvara Sutta in 3 ways with regard to all the akusala. Killing, I don't want to kill somebody, and I had to try my best to stop other people killing. I had to praise about the benefits of not killing. So this is going to apply to all the other akusalas. So this approach is Attupanayaka Dharmapara. I had to compare me to, I had to put myself into the other person's scenario. Right? Other questions?
Bhante, when we are young, we do not understand Dharma as very young children. So we may commit a lot of unwholesome deeds without realizing it. A simple example is like children, we will go and catch spiders, and then the spiders will fight and then kill each other, and then we will be very happy if your spider win. So all this is harming beings, but we were children then. We don't understand that it is bad to do so.
Mm.
So how does what is your perspective on this?
Yeah, my perspective is that is a universal experience to most of you, I think. Yeah, it's not only you. Many people in the world. So I don't think you have to worry about it now, but you have to think that from now, after you became someone of the Buddha's follower, you are completely denying all these things and you are doing more good karmas. You are avoiding that. And then you are helping other people not to do it. At the same time, you are going to praise about it. So you are on the right path now. But for the karmas you did, I don't think they are karmas. If you know that, if you have understood that that this is a bad one, this is a chetana, this is a karma, then that will do. But depending on your culture and things that happen, this could carry a different weight. But if you do more good karmas, they can be overtaken, overpowered, actually. Yes.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I think there is no purpose of going back and think about what have I done, because a lot of people have done a lot of things. So now going forward is the most important. I mean, even to give a meaning to what happened at that time. If I had known Dhamma at that time, I would have not seen those spiders in that way, right? I mean, that is how we have to look at it. So give a different meaning to that. And then going forward, I know I'm so careful about, I'm so mindful about it. Mindfulness is not happening in the temple. Mindfulness is being in every activity going forward. So then you should be good at that point. Yes. Yes. What's the question? Let's go ahead.
Bhante, this phrase or statement is very famous. This is your karma, right? I'm not sure who knows if it is truly that person's karma other than the Buddha who can see. I mean, each time I hear that, right, I question, do you really know if it's really karma? Do you really know? You know, I would feel like, is this a speculation? I always wonder who else other than the Buddha knows if it is really your karma, Bhante?
Yeah. Who says so? This is your karma? Or is it just an
Many.
imagination, or is it somebody's?
No, many people will say, oh, you will get your karma, or this is your karma.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's a phrase. It's a phrase many people use.
Yeah.
Then-
It's a modern day phrase. Some people use it pejoratively, maybe in an insulting way also. Sometimes when something happens, you should get your karma. See what's going to happen to you. I mean, it's in a pejorative, insulting way. It's one aspect. Second way is that there are many people out of ignorance.
Yes.
They are just saying it. That is the
Yes.
second category. As you said, yes, we never know whether this is a karma or another thing. But there are certain events we know it could be a karma because you cannot avoid it. You know by yourself. It could be. But for the most part, we cannot categorize things like that as karma. Now, the immediate example is sickness, right? I mean, you think about a cancer survivor and a cancer patient. There are some who got diagnosed cancer at the 4th stage, and somebody who has a very bad cancer but was diagnosed for the good things in the detection part, and then become a cancer survivor, right? So it's not always that we can. I think we should not use karma to anybody because we never know. That's why the Buddha said in this sutta, some women, some men go through health discomforts due to this activity. Some, even the Buddha is saying some, not everybody. I think we have to take karma not to talk about the bad karma, but to talk about good karma for the most part. That will give us a very healthy perspective. Because who is going to determine our good karma, bad karma? If you are a Christian, you can say the God will decide that. Or if you are a Hindu, you can say the Mahabrahma will decide that. But Buddha is not doing that, right? Unless we happen to see the Buddha and Buddha talks to us. This is your bad karma, good karma. So then it's not nice to tell somebody that this is your bad karma. Rather, we use the karma concept to talk about good things, do more good karmas. Even certain bad karmas, if you say bad karmas, they can be bypassed. Buddha said in many suttas, Mahanama Sutta, Buddha said if you do more good karmas, even the bad karmas can be bypassed, neutralized. So that is how we have to look at it. Otherwise, nobody knows. Nobody knows the real working of the karma. Unless you really feel you're trying a lot, nothing is going to work out. You might feel perhaps this is something like that lady in the Edgar case story. Perhaps. But we should not use karma to talk about bad karma at that point. But when we are looking at the society, if you do a bad karma, that's not nice. If you are killing, if you are stealing, we can use bad karma for that. But when somebody is going through a painful time, we say that's your bad karma. We cannot say that. And this is called in modern world karma violence, using karma to put other people down. Yeah. All right. Other questions? Yes, please.
Bhante, for example, if let's say someone intentionally say this is your karma, right? But it could be or could not be, right? Let's say even if it's good.
No, the thing is that what I'm saying is that someone to say that is not a good idea. Because someone to say that this is a good karma is okay.
Yes.
It's a very pleasant vibe, good vibes. But if someone to say that this is a bad karma, I mean, yeah, you can say this is a good karma, bad karma, because we know good, bad, right? Morally moral, wholesome. But
Yes,
if
in
someone
general.
to say, we can say that way. But if someone is to say, you are suffering, that's because of your bad karma. That thing shouldn't have been said because we never know. Nobody can say that.
Yes.
Unless you have attained
I
Nibbana
hear
or
you.
become the Buddha. Yes.
Yes, I hear you, Bhante.
Yes.
Like whether it's for good karma or bad karma, honestly, for me, I don't know. I really don't know. It could be perhaps, maybe speculative, It could be, I don't know.
Yeah,
But if let's say
sometimes
the person
yes.
intentionally say that and don't know, is it still considered a musavada?
We cannot change other people sometimes, and there are a lot of people. Uh, Perhaps those people want to hurt us. Perhaps the person's habitual action is that. So you have to mindfully respond to these people. The way. I mean, if you show that person you're taking it seriously, the person will keep more effort for that. Keep doing that to you to put you down. Don't take it because only a person like what do you call kamma sakata jnana, kamma vipakavara jnana. They are only pertain to the Buddhas. But if you are getting it very serious, the other person notices that will be your victim point next time. So don't try to So you can say, I will take care of my karma, don't worry about it. You can say like that, just to mindfully, kindly finish that thing. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Good.
Yes.
Very good reply, Bhante. Very good reply.
I mean, that could be the way. I mean, we have to survive with these people too, because we cannot go away from these people, right? Because sometimes they might be people we know. Yeah. Okay, we can take one more question and we will wrap this up.
Yeah, I will ask if no one asks.
Yes, yeah, please.
Yeah, if sorry. I'll ask again. Sorry. Someone is here.
Oh, you are leaving another question to come up. You can be the last if you want.
Okay, never mind. Okay,
Anybody
let's say we
no
can.
Yes.
Just now Bhante mentioned about people laughing about other people having bad health or whatever, then someone laugh and then the karma is obtained by the person who laughed, right? You mentioned about that, right? Like about
Depending on the intention of that laughing, we never know.
yeah. So how I mean that sometimes do happen when we feel that, oh, thank God it didn't occur to us. No, it's not that intentionally we want to laugh at the person, but we are happy that we don't have that disease or whatever. So how to avoid this other than having proper mindfulness, like when the thought occur to us, then we capture it suddenly and then like how to avoid this? I mean, it's still sometimes unavoidably like we are thankful that it didn't occur to us, you know.
So my question is, why to laugh every time we are happy?
No, I mean like we are not laughing at
we don't
the
need to we don't need to laugh every time we are happy. That's one thing. I think this is something very personal, and I think we have. Okay, this is very interesting actually. In another perspective, remember, in some of the Buddhist texts, there is a certain idea that, say, for instance, there is someone who has been repeatedly doing bad karma, engaging in bad karma, all these 10 akusala, and nobody can stop that person. The person is continuously doing that, habitually doing that, called jatiko, vihetaka jatiko, all that. Then what the Buddha is saying is that even that is happening that way, never ever hate that person. Be compassionate for this person, because this person will go through immense discomfort after the death or before the death. So if that is the idea for someone who's doing the bad karma now, the way how we look at it, and then the person is going to imminently going through the bad results one day, this life or past life. If the Buddha is asking us to be compassionate, then what about looking at us compared to this person? Then we have to be humbly happy with some humility. We have to humble ourselves. I mean, Say, for instance, someone is very sick and you are not that sick. Don't take it as a joke. I mean, it's something, I mean, not to you, anybody. That's my, maybe I must have done good karma. And also in this life, my way of living is good. So perhaps I'm thinking about not to be happy at this point a lot, maybe how to help this person to get rid of this problem. We can use this kind of mentality rather than why, see, I'm very good. These people are not like this. So I think this is not a good idea to go actually for me.
Humbly happy is like, is it
It is said that
mudita? It's not mudita.
mudita means when other people are going well, we have to be happy for them. That is mudita. But being humble is one of the fundamental qualities in Buddhism. Humility. I think what is the Pali word for that? The Metta Sutta Buddha talks about it. Sakko ujucha sujucha suvachucha samudvanati mani santu sakuja subarucha appakichoja sallaka buddhi. Garavocha nivatocha. Nivatocha. Nivata means that you are humble. I think a lot of good karmas are growing in our mentality when we are humble. So that humbleness. That's why the Buddha said, when you win something, when you are so happy, you have to practice patience at that time. Because when people are happy, there are a lot of things that can happen. Then when you are unhappy, you have to bring patience as well. So I think through the patience, you are going to practice humility. It's being humble, nature. That will help you not to go to those kind of things.
Sorry, Bhante, what's the word again? Humility?
Humility, nivatocha.
The Pali word. The Pali.
Nivato. I think it's
Minato.
No, nivato.
Nimato.
Nivato. Yeah. Should be the Pali word. I think. Yeah. Yeah, nivato. Yes, that's correct. Nivato.
How do you spell Bhante?
What's that?
How do
Okay. Maybe I'm gonna send that to you. Yeah. Nivato. Nivata means being humble. So that means the Buddha said that if you really want to practice metta, you need this humility, humbleness. Okay, I think with that we're going to wrap this up. So we are going to give good karmas to all the departed ones, deceased loved ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyateo. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyateo. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyateo. May Deva Naga Mahitika also receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, and prosperity, safety. May they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahidika punyantan anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahidika punyantan anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahidika punyantang anumuditva chirang rakhang tumang parang chirang rakhang tutang sada. Dhammavish is to be surrounded with kalyanam with his noble friends all the way to Nibbana. Imina punya kammina mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hutu yavadimbana pattiya. finally, we've been creating lots of good karmas today. They are also good karmas. Our good karmas were revolving around knowing how to become a healthy person in this life and for the lives to come. They are conscious efforts and good karmas. May all these good karmas that we've been making today by discussing, listening to Dhamma, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisse nichang vadha pachaino chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha atu nibbana sampatti iminati samicchati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, with those blessings, wishing you a pleasant night. We'll be seeing you next Friday at the same time. Good night, everyone.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Bye,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Good night,
Sadhu,
everyone.
sadhu,
Thank you very much,
sadhu.
Bhante.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night, everyone. See you all next
Good night,
week.
Good night,
everyone.
Bhante. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. And good night, Bhante. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Sadhu, sadhu,
Everybody.
sadhu.
Sadhu. Good night, Bhante.
Good night.
Right.
Belinda.
Okay.
Okay. See you,
Night.
Bhante. Good night.
Yes. Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Ariana. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
Bhante.
Bye.
Brother Lim. Yes.
Huh?